live on YouTube as well. Let's see if that's working before we kind of get into it all.
Right? Heyo, we are here.
Yep.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Yeah. You're gonna want to mute that.
Turn this down.
Yep.
Welcome back.
That's going in the
That's
podcast
great.
for sure. Welcome back, Cotter's gonna sue us. Ready?
Mr. Mando Kata.
Welcome to Basement Movie Room. We're back with our discussion of The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5, which is entitled The Pirate. So, this is a decently long episode, not too bad. This episode kind of focuses back onto Navarro and a pirate invasion on Navarro. But as usual, we're going to start out, what did you think of the episode?
I really enjoyed this episode. Of course, you know, we get a lot of good nuggets in this one that keep going back to Rebels, which I love, and I'm loving this whole timeline. Yeah, and I think they keep doing a great job.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's no complaints from me on this episode.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good episode. It's more world building. I feel like this season is all about world building, and it's not moving the plot along a lot with each episode, but each episode kind of ends with a nice little plot movement, essentially, and kind of something that to make things go forward. So we'll get right into the episode. So the episode opens back on Navarro. Like I said, this is a Navarro-focused episode for the most part. And we got Greef Karga discussing with his advisors about things they're going to do on Navarro and in the city. I guess the city is Navarro. I don't think the rest of the planet's really that occupied. I think it's basically just Navarro is the city, essentially. But the planet is Navarro as well.
half of it's like lava.
It's like lava flows. Yeah, they even say, let's go out to the lava flows this time. So we open up, and a pirate corsair flies down into above Navarro, and Greef Karga sees the pirate ship out of his window, and then the robot comes in and is like, oh, there's pirates.
Yeah.
and the robot's like, should we, hail them? And he's like, no, I don't want to set a bad example. I don't want to give them the thought that we're going to be, negotiate with pirates, because they'll just keep, blackmailing us, essentially, or extorting us to keep grabbing money, and it will make things hard on us. So, of course, this is Gorian Shard, the Pirate King, who we saw earlier in the season. What was that like? That was like episode 1, wasn't it? It was like
one or two.
Well, yeah, it was an early episode in the season, a few episodes ago at least. And Gorian Shard comes in and says, he's going to take Navarro, and that there's really nothing they can do about it, essentially. And of course, Greef Karga says, well, we're protected by the Empire, and they make rounds through this area and all this stuff. And Shan or Shard or whatever his name is, he knows he's bluffing. He knows that they're an independent planet. He says, this shows as an independent planet. You're not protected by the Empire, so I'm just going to take your planet. And immediately just starts open fire on all of Navarro. And you see everybody running, and Greef Karga says they need to abandon Navarro and to, get the people out of Navarro. And then like 35 people leave Navarro. It's like, it's not a very populated city, apparently. But in any case,
he just took his advisors with him.
Yeah, that's all it seems like. And his house staff.
Yeah.
His maids.
Yeah, the ones that matter to him.
Yeah. So they all are leaving Navarro, and he sends a message out through his droid to Carson Teva, who is, we've met him. He's the Asian Republic X-Wing pilot. We've seen him multiple occasions. He's been in multiple episodes, including the episode where Mando crash-landed the Razor Crest on the ice planet, running away from him, essentially. With Dave Filoni was the other pilot.
Yeah, that's right.
That one.
Yeah. Basically saved Mando's life.
Yeah, he did, and he let him go.
Yeah.
He let him go. So that kind of comes up in the episode as well. So from there, we jump away from the planet, but we'll stop there and kind of give her thoughts about that area. What'd you think about this whole sequence?
Oh man,
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, and they're not sparing any expense on CGI.
Spad no expense.
It looks so good. Like,
yeah, it looks
that
fantastic.
ship hovering over the city. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, that Corsair is awesome looking. That zebra stripe pattern on it, that
really
Corsair
neat.
is amazing.
Now the captain's design, I mean, that's freaking straight out of Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
I mean, even the nose is the same.
Yeah,
you
this guy's going to be playing Swamp Thing.
Oh
next
yeah.
to see him.
And who's the voice for him? It sounds very familiar.
I have not picked up on who that is.
I don't know either, but it was really cool. Good opening.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and that's the cold open because we don't get the titles before then, and then of course you get the title. Title pops up after the nice little like CG thing, and then we get. We jump to another planet and we see a Y-wing flying in, which is nice to see a Y-wing. We haven't seen many of those since the original trilogy, really.
I love seeing the old ships.
Yeah, we got a Y-wing. There's some X-wings in the shot, and of course we get Republic pilots or Rebel pilots as they were called in the original trilogy, essentially. And we go to a bar. There's a bunch of Republic pilots drinking and talking. And we got a guy in an Indiana Jones fedora over there.
Dave Filoni in the Indiana Jones outfit.
Yeah. And we meet Carson Teva, of course. He's sitting at the bar, and the bartender comes over and said a message came from him. She hands him a message card, and he has to use her viewer to see it. He puts it in. Of course, it's the message from Greef Karga saying that Navarro's in trouble. You had once said to contact you if we needed help, and that's what I'm doing, essentially. And then we get a beautiful cameo that not many people, I mean, some people are going to be familiar with who this person is. Some people aren't. If you watch Rebels, you're going to know that this is Zeb.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Which is an awesome cameo. And like you said, that's the original design for Chewbacca.
Chewie,
That's what he was going to look like until they changed him to the Wookiee design, of course. But Zeb comes over, talks to, Carson Teva, because Carson's like, hey, we got to, I'm going to make a requisition and try to get them help. And Zeb's like, well, they're backed up for months, And Teva says, well, I'm just going to go there.
Yeah.
And Zeb, in typical Zeb fashion, is like, good luck,
I love how they brought back the same voice actor from the show.
Yeah, Steve Blum.
And, I mean, the Zeb looks amazing.
Oh, God. It's amazing. It's all CG, I assume, but it's
I would
perfect.
think so. Yeah,
perfect. He's big like he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's this right color. He looks like they took him out of Rebels, like polished him up a bit for live action and put him right here on the show. He's exact. He's perfect, and of course he's working for the Republic now.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of got that at the end of Rebels, showing that the Ghost crew all went to work for the Republic.
Right, and they kind of went their own direction.
Yeah, they all kind of went their own directions, working for the Republic. The Ghost pilot, she was. They say she even fought in the Battle of the Death Star and everything on that.
She was. They showed
Hera.
the Ghost.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of her name.
Yeah, and they showed it in Rise.
Yeah,
So,
the Ghost was there. So we've seen a little bit of Rebels before in live action. So that's it. That's all we get.
Oh my God, I just love that cameo.
Yeah,
and,
I got spoiled on it before I watched the episode, unfortunately. But I was like, I don't care. It's awesome.
Yeah, I watched it before you, and I wanted to say something.
Yeah,
so
I know.
bad,
I was like,
I'm not gonna ruin.
He held back.
Yeah, I don't like to spoil anything. Although we're spoiling, well, we're not really spoiling now.
It's almost a week after this episode.
We're almost
aired
into
at this
the next
point.
episode.
Yeah, we're close to the next episode, but we got to record when we can. We both have jobs and kids and everything else.
Yeah,
So
life gets in the way.
we record when we can. It's Sunday night. It's recording night usually.
Sunday biz.
That's right. So,
excuse me.
After that scene, Carson leaves, goes to Coruscant. We get a little view of Coruscant. You were saying like a lot how it looks a lot like Coruscant and the Old Republic.
Yeah,
and it definitely does. It has that feel.
And they're starting to incorporate. I'm noticing some of the droids from the Old Republic that are walking around the streets.
Yeah.
In the game, they're throwing them in. I think one was in Greef Karga's office or whatever. That one droid.
Yeah.
Is very reminiscent of the ones that are in like that shop.
Oh yeah.
That you go to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right. I think you're right.
I hope they go that direction. Eventually.
So Teva goes into a large building to talk to an officer and walks in, and he gets who I like to call Colonel Leon Phelps, the latest man.
Yeah, that's
Tim
cool.
Meadows.
That's
Tim
cool. That's very cool.
Playing Colonel Trotter, unfortunately. They didn't have balls enough to call him Colonel Phelps, unfortunately. But, it's Tim Meadows. Everybody recognizes Tim Meadows. And, of course, another one of my, I see that. Another one of my favorite roles of Tim Meadows is from Walk Hard. Remember that?
Yeah.
You don't want no part of this shit, Dewey Cox.
Nice.
What is it? It's cocaine.
It's basically, yeah.
It makes you feel real good, but you don't want no part of this.
Nice.
I love that. Yeah. But, of course, I was doing the ladies' man voice here, and you were, too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's
what you associate him with.
And then, of course, Elia Kane, we see her, and she walks in the office, and I still can't figure out what she's up to. Like, because she seems to be, like, don't help these guys. So it's like, and later in the episode, we figure out some information that may be relevant to her and this, how she's acting, whether it is or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
She's a double agent.
Yeah, it seems like it.
She's still in cahoots with Gideon.
Like, she just completely shuts down Tiva in this office. Like, I think if she wouldn't have walked in, there's a chance that Colonel Trotter may have given him a few ships to go help. Mm-hmm. But when she walks in, he's like, she throws out all this information and is like, I don't think we should. They didn't sign the charter. And he's like,
right.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't give him permission. He says, I'll put it on the list and maybe we can help.
They're pirates and, they're outside of our reach, really.
Yeah.
Really.
And Tiva tries to play it up. It's like, hey, this planet, Moff Gideon was over this planet, and now there's pirates. What's going on this planet? Is this planet's important somehow?
He's
and
like, this
Tiva's
goes
smart.
beyond. Yeah, it's like there's something else brewing out there.
For sure.
So.
But in any case, he's not going to get the help. Elia Kane, she looks pretty happy about that. So I think she's got some ulterior motives in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, she's that double agent.
Yeah, she seems like she is. Maybe it's going to come out where she's not, but you never know. I mean, she's a likable actress. I mean, she's likable. She is beefy as heck, man. She is a built woman.
You said she would be a good casting for
Abby in Last of Us, which you don't know what that means.
Which I don't know.
She's a beefy one in
but
Last of Us.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, she would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you that one for free, Last of Us.
You heard it here first.
Or call me HBO. Call me. Call me Craig Mazin.
Yeah, we'll do your casting.
Check out our coverage of Last of Us on youtube.com/@movie room.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very in-depth, thought-provoking,
and
not really.
Slightly inebriated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy making fun of us.
Back to Mando. So Tiva has to leave. He's not going to get any help there. We jump shortly back to Navarro, where Grief Cargo and his 35 people who live in Navarro have gone out to the lava flats and are sitting there just kind of waiting on help. They're outside of the city, letting the pirates essentially take the city at this point. Much to Grief Cargo's chagrin, he doesn't want that to happen, but he doesn't have the people to fight, which is weird. He doesn't have any fighters on this planet. I take a little...
They all got blasters, though.
They do, but there's nobody to protect this planet. It's very weird. You would think you would have some kind of crew to protect the planet that could help here, but I guess the Corsair kind of is a tough foe.
I think you'd have some kind of security, team.
Something. Yeah. It's kind of crazy, but I mean, he's just out there with the 35 residents of Navarro, But I mean, ultimately, it's a joke because it looks like there's nobody in Navarro, but some of the people stayed behind or couldn't get out. So it's still not a lot of people though. So the next scene we go back to Carson Teva. He's flying in to where the Mandalorians are into their covert.
Oh, I just gotta say one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad you can remember all these names. I can't remember
I read his name.
Anybody's names.
That's the only reason.
I can't remember names.
The only reason I know Carson Teva is because I read about it earlier.
The New Republic guy.
New Republic fat Asian guy.
Yeah, he goes to this. He's a good guy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And then he goes in there, he lands, he sees Bo-Katan's ship, he lands in front of the covert and comes out and he's like, hey, I'm not here to hurt anybody, I'm here, I want to talk to you about something. And he says, and they're like, how did you find us? They were like, how did you find us? And he's like, well, I have a former Republic officer or something working here, and it ends up it's R5, the droid that Peli sold Mando, and he's like, "Thanks, R5." And I think everybody thought it was Bo-Katan. I told you that while we were watching it again, that everybody thought, "Hey, Bo-Katan sold us out. What's up with this?"
Good Lord.
But no, it wasn't Bo.
Non-helmet wearing.
But 100%, even Mando, I think, thought it ultimately that it was Bo-Katan. But anyway, Carson Teva decides to tell him that, hey, Navarro's in trouble. He's really talking to Mando. He's not talking to all of them. But he's like, you guys can help Navarro. And, Grief Karga, and he gives him the thing that Grief Karga sent. And he says, I'm not here to mess with your covert. And they're like, now we have to move, And he's like, I'm sorry, but they need help and there's nowhere else to go. You're basically the only ones I know that could possibly help.
He kind of looks like a Mr. Miyagi, doesn't he?
Yeah.
A younger.
Except I think he's Korean.
Yeah. Sorry.
I could be wrong about that, though. Yeah. But yeah, so I like the guy. I think the guy's a great actor.
He's doing
really good. Yeah, he's really good, and he's a recurring role in the show at this point. He's been in every season to this point. So he tells them, "Hey, I'm just bringing this information. They need help. I think you guys can help. I will not tell where your covert is. I know you're probably going to move anyway, though." Right. So he leaves, and Mando takes a look at he takes a look at the thing, and they have a meeting. And we haven't got to that part on the screen yet, but here it is. They have a meeting in the cave that they live around with a big fire, and Mando's got the armorer's hammer, so I guess that's how they know who can talk.
You have the floor. Yeah.
You have the floor, essentially, like passing the peace pipe or whatever, And Mando explains, like, hey, I know, a lot of you were on Navarro, and Grief Karga was not your friend on Navarro, but, he changed. He helped me later, and I think, we need to help him because, he's promised me a tract of land. We can live in the light again if we go there. We can live on that land and be, let our children play out in the sun, basically, and not be underground all the time. And so he gives this big impassioned speech. And then Paz Vizsla stands up and he hands him the hammer.
Yeah, because nobody's really buying what he's picking up, or not picking up what he's dropping, but they're not buying what he's selling.
Yeah, I mean, they're
like,
he's back carded them, but they still have trust issues with him, I think, because of what he's done to this point. So Paz Vizsla stands up and he hands him the hammer to talk. Grogu's not in this episode very much. That's the only shot of Grogu.
He's just in the back.
One tiny shot right there that they just showed, which is good because I get tired of all Grogu all the time sometimes. To be honest with you, I mean, I understand the character's a moneymaker. But we need episodes like this where it's more action oriented and less Grogu oriented. So Paz takes the hammer and starts giving this impassioned speech about, like, hey, we had to abandon Navarro and, they weren't our friends and all this. But he's like, our children deserve to live out of hiding and things like that. So his speech kind of goes from, like, Mando's kind of feeling like he's going to go against him. And all of a sudden he's like, Mando saved my child, and I think we should do this, essentially.
I owe a debt to this guy.
Yeah, and Paz is and
we all do, actually.
He's hugely respected in this covert. He's like second in command, essentially. There's the armorer and then Paz.
And he's massive.
He is,
and he's got a big gun.
Nobody's messing with Paz Vizsla.
No,
nobody except Mando.
Yeah,
he did. He beat him. But yeah, he gives this speech, and you think all the way up until the very end that he's going to be against it, but no, he's for it. He says, we need to do this. These people need help. I think we can help them. I think it will give us a better life and our children a better life, and that Mando saved my son, and, we should do this for him. And Bo-Katan's sitting there kind of surprised too, I think. Again, I'll say how much they like body language works through these people. I don't even know if it's them in the armor. Like, if I don't know if
who knows.
Yeah,
but just the way they tilt their heads. I mean, it's like you can tell what they're thinking.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great acting.
It is. And at the end, he drops the "This is the way." Everybody says "This is the way," and then the armor follows up. "This is the way." So it's on at that point. They're going, and so everybody's in. They're going to go help Navarro. The next scene, short scene after this, they're Bo-Katan's telling people like, this is a drop ship. You know, you can get on it. We'll load everybody up. Everybody will go. Well, this is the plan. All that stuff. You know, everybody's ready to go. And that's it. That's it for those couple short scenes. I really like these scenes. I think they're kind of like great, like Mandalorian society building type scenes. Very excellent. Shows that Paz Vizsla is more than just a big guy. He's a leader, really, with this. So they're on the ship. Yeah, do you have anything to say about this?
Oh, no. Yeah.
So they get on the ship, and in hyperspace they're having more conversations about everything. Like, oh, this is the Corsair. These are the ships they're gonna have. There's like 8 ships that they're gonna fight with. You know, you guys will be on the ground, and me and the N1 will be in the sky. You know, taking on the ships and all that stuff.
These are the weak points. Yeah, this is what we're gonna encounter. So
yeah, just kind of some cool like standard military stuff.
Yeah, planning.
Yeah. So anything else to say before we get into the Battle of Navarro here?
No, I mean, let's just get into it. Get in the nitty gritty here.
Yeah. Navarro looking rough again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we get the view of Navarro. It's kind of, there's a lot of scoring on everything from the fire. The people are kind of being hassled by the pirates and all that stuff. And even the salacious crumb monkeys are being hassled by the pirates.
Yeah, being shot at
and
again.
I think this is the school.
Where they got shot at. Where used to be the bar.
Yeah, that used to be a bar. I think that's the school they're in because they're back to making it a bar, essentially. Because that's what they wanted to do in that earlier episode.
Yeah, the guy got his drink.
He got his drink. He did this time. Yeah. Not the one from earlier because he's dead.
Yeah,
but,
No.
But they're back in there. The school's a bar again. And then they see the pirates on the ground see Mando's N1 starfighter come in. And, of course, Gorian Shand, whatever his name is, sees it come in, and it fires on the Corsair, and, of course, they go into attack mode. And then Mando's kind of running interference at this point to get all the ships and all the guns out, essentially, to get them all battle ready to follow him so Bo-Katan can come in safely and drop ship all the other Mandalorians, essentially. So it works. All the pirate ships, the Corsair goes after him, and all the 8 or so ships that are on there come after him, including Vane, the one pirate we saw earlier, who was the one in the fight with Mando.
Yeah,
on that survived.
Only one that he left alive, or they left alive.
And Grief Karga, of course, sees Mando and calls him and thanks him for coming. We got Grogu again sitting in Mando's lap in the N1, which is great. All right, so then in comes Bo-Katan after Mando takes out a few of those ships, and she comes in and does like a run and drops the Mandalorians, and they go to action.
Getting some great ship
Oh,
fights
yeah.
in
Lots
this
of
season.
dog fighting.
I mean, it looks so good. And, you know, you're on edge the whole time. I mean, obviously, you know, you're not going to die or the show's going to end.
Yeah, but they got plot armor. They got plot armor.
But how cool is it with the Mandalorians dropping out of the ship?
Oh, the drop troopers.
It's so cool, man.
It's like drop troopers, man.
I got kind of Edge of Tomorrow vibes.
Yeah.
We also reviewed
On your feet.
Yeah, on your feet.
It is. It's like that because that's how they drop.
They drop straight down.
Yeah, those guys just drop in their suits though.
Yeah.
And land in those suits. These guys have the rocket
they got no
packs,
rocket
of course.
packs.
So the Mandalorians drop into the streets. They start taking out the pirates slowly but surely, and they are really taking. I mean, I'm talking executions and things.
They're special forces basically.
They don't play around.
Yeah.
They don't play around. I mean, you see a couple times they like take a guy down from the back and then shoot him on the ground to take him out completely. So they're not leaving prisoners.
No.
They're taking them out. They are killing them. And then we continue getting the air battle as well, and of course Bo-Katan joins the air battle to fire on the Corsair and take out some of the guys. There's another ship. I didn't mention this when we were watching, but they're actually dressed like 18th century pirates.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's like they're wearing like
exactly
the
he's got
coats
the long coat.
And the guy's wearing a sweater and a bandana on his head. It's like they're actually dressed like pirates, which is silly. But it's fun.
It works.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it works.
It works.
We have another little trench run here.
Yeah, we get a short little trench run.
Trench run with Vane's on Mando's tail.
Star Wars and their trench runs.
They love the trenches. It's like every dogfight has to go into a trench for sure.
But yeah, I mean, this episode with the Mandalorians just being badass all the time.
Yeah, that's what you want to see.
That's what you watch the show for.
See, this contrast with Boba Fett. It's
Yeah.
like the Boba Fett show. It was like Boba Fett being a sad sack half the time in that show.
Right.
We wanted Boba Fett to go out and start killing people and taking people out, but no, he's doing political planning and recruiting people who ride flamboyant scooters to his side.
Didn't work.
Boba Fett's real bad.
Yeah.
It's real bad. And if you didn't watch it and you're watching this show, some things are going to be very confusing in this show, and that's a shame that they did that. It's like, I feel like they should have just gone back, deleted Boba Fett, and added those 2 episodes with Mando into the first of this season just to get everybody back.
And, they're using this as a launching point for a lot of other shows that are going to be coming out. We already got Ahsoka.
Yeah.
We have Boba Fett.
They were going to do that Rangers of the Republic show, but that kind of got killed when Gina Carano said stupid stuff and got fired, so that got canceled.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get the Mandalorian. We get some more Mandalorian fighting, and we get them pinned down at some point, and they can't get out. And here comes Paz Vizsla down there with his big boy gun.
Oh god.
Just strafing.
Yeah.
Like this is Jesse Ventura in Predator, taking out the trees and everything.
They got time to bleed.
Yeah. So.
And of course they bring back that big gun from Jabba's palace.
Yep. What do they call? They call that. There's a name for that gun. It's in a few different episodes. So they get pinned down by that big gun in Grief Karga's office. That's where they're at.
Yeah.
They're pinned down. They can't get out. They're not going to be able to take it out. They don't know what they're going to do. And we go back to the sky for a little more dogfighting because you got to jump around the action. You can't just focus on one in this scene. This makes it extremely hard to talk about. To be honest,
that's typical Star Wars. You got a ground battle. You got aerial.
Yeah, Phantom Menace did the same thing.
Yeah. So that's typical. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if we got any spinning in this, did we?
Oh, he's spinning right now. And then one's all over the spin.
He's spinning right there.
Everywhere.
Okay.
The end one's a spinner.
I take that back.
He's actually watching Phantom Menace while he's doing it. Spinning is a good trick.
He's got it on one of the screens.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Spinning is a good trick.
Good job, Andy.
So we jump back down to the planet and the big gun that's pinning down all the Mandalorians, and here comes the armor. We didn't even know she was there, really. Yeah. I mean, you didn't see her drop ship in or anything. And she doesn't wear a jetpack either, I don't think. So she's not wearing one. So she got on the ground some way else. Either that or another Mandalorian helped carry her to the ground or something like that. But she comes in Grief Karga's office behind him.
That's a good point. She doesn't have a jetpack.
How did she get down there? I don't know. Even Paz has a jetpack on top of his gigantic gun.
Yeah.
So she comes in with her hammers. She doesn't use guns. She comes in with her hammers and just brutalizes like 6 guys in that office and takes out that gun and gives the rest of Mandalorians the ability to run the rest of the pirates out of town, at which point Grief Karga and all his people come in and pin them down between them and the Mandalorians, and the battle for the city at least is won. We still have the sky battle going on.
And it ends at the entrance where they came in season 1 and saved Mando.
Yep, same entrance.
Right there, same place.
City entrance.
Yep. This time they're saving Grief.
Yeah. So we go back to Gorian Shard's ship, and Vane essentially is the only ship left, and he runs off. He's a coward. It's just what he does.
He's like, what's his name in Tombstone? Darn it.
Which one?
Stephen
Lang's character?
Yeah. He's always getting away. He's the weasel, but he keeps getting away.
Yeah, Stephen
He's just like that character.
Yeah. So Gorian, the Pirate King, decides that he's not going to give up. He's only got one engine left at this point, and he goes to start shooting and trying to kill all the civilians of Navarro, because I guess that's what pirates do. And Mando and Bo-Katan come in and take out his last engine and crash the Corsair in an amazing sequence. And sound, you talk about the sound design. Yes,
that's from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, and I told you, I said, when you got
Vader's
Ben Burtt,
ship is going down.
When you got all that sound from sound engineer Ben Burtt, you use it.
They pretty much took it straight from Return.
Straight from there, for sure. Yeah. And so they shoot it down. Of course, we get the typical Star Wars cheer, you know. And
yep.
Mando and the Mandalorians have won the fight. I don't know if they lost a single guy. They may have lost one guy, possibly. There was one guy that got shot by that
big gun.
May have not made it.
One guy fell off a roof. He got knocked off, but like one or two guys. He probably survived.
They may have not lost anybody.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's the end of the fight.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, man.
I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Getting some really good dog fights.
Oh, yeah.
And
fantastic.
This season's been great on that.
Yeah, it's great. It's a terrific fight. So after that, we go back to Greef Karga, and he's, thanking the Mandalorians for saving them, when nobody else would, essentially. And essentially, we get a nice tribute. He says that the Mandalorians will, he offered property to Mando, and the Mandalorians can have that property from the Western Plains to Bullock Canyon. Bullock is the last name of the guy who originally played Boba Fett. I can't remember his first name. I want to say Seth Bullock, but that's Timothy Oliphant's character in Deadwood, so it's not Seth Bullock. But Bullock Canyon is definitely a tribute to the guy who played Boba Fett. He died a couple years ago. He was an older guy even when he played Boba Fett. So, but that was a nice little tribute. And the Mandalorians, are accepting of that.
Everybody looked older back then. He was probably 30.
He was 26. Yeah. Gray hair, but he's 26.
Yeah.
So the Mandalorians, of course, are accepting of that. Some of them put their hand over their heart and a fist, to thank him, and they're going to live in the light. They're gonna make their home on Navarro now. And there was a nice line from Greef Karga. He's like, I know you lost your home on Mandalore, but at least you will, be able to make a home here now, or something like that. It was a nice line. I can't remember the exact line. And
you lost your world, but at least you have a home.
At least you have a home here, or something like that. Yeah, and then Paz goes over to Bo-Katan and says, the armor wants to see you. And it's like, what'd I do?
Getting called to the principal's office after we won?
So we get to go back down in the sewers and see their previous covert where the armor was first introduced in Navarro. And she talks about the forge, and Bo-Katan's like, yes, I saw the original forge on Mandalore. And she's like, it was so much bigger. There were hundreds of, people working on armor. And said, but still, the spirit, she's kind of like the spirit of Mandalore is in this forge, essentially. And she talks to Bo-Katan, and she says, take off your helmet. And Bo's like, what? And she's like, do you trust my judgment? And Bo-Katan's like, yes.
Now take off the rest of your armor.
I think I downloaded the wrong Mandalorian episode. So Bo takes off her helmet, and she says, I think you're basically the key to uniting all the Mandalorian tribes. You have walked both worlds. You have walked with us and respected our ways, but you also have walked with those who are not of our way. Yeah. And you're going to be able to help us unite everybody to take back Mandalore. Yep. Essentially.
I mean, they're building towards, Bo-Katan and Mando. Yeah. They're pushing that. They're gonna get together. Even during that the fire, the campfire scene.
They're kind of leaning up against each other.
They're real snugly, and everybody else has their spacing. So
I don't have a problem with this ship.
I mean, they're gonna be king, queen, I guess.
I'm shipping them.
I like it.
I'm shipping the armor in that relationship too as a third.
They got the Darksaber. They got the confidence of
and the Mythosaur maybe
and the Mythosaur. I mean, all this is building towards they're gonna rule together.
They're definitely going to be part of this.
You heard it here first.
And probably in like
600
600
at the computer when we have a camera.
We have a camera. It's over there. Hi.
Hello, camera.
Yeah. So after this, Bo and the armorer leave the underground, and Bo walks out and is walking through all the children of the Watch who don't take their helmet off, and they're all kind of looking at her like, what the hell is going on here? What is she doing? I thought she was with us. And essentially, Paz Vizsla is there, and he's not fond of the idea of taking her helmet off, obviously. And the armorer speaks up and goes, Bo-Katan walks both worlds. She can help us reunite everybody to take Mandalore. Mm-hmm. So kind of everybody, she's like their leader. Everybody's going to take what she says. So if she's okay with the helmet being off, everybody's okay. Even Paz. So and you see Paz stand up right there. He's like, what is going on? I'm not fond of this. So that's kind of where it ends, with the armorer essentially saying Bo-Katan's going to go out and try to bring everybody back together to take back Mandalore.
You weren't in the forge that long.
But yeah, so it's okay for Bo to take her helmet off. I mean, I think it's probably okay for anybody at this point to take their helmet off because all they got to do is go to Mandalore and just jump in the water and they're good to go.
Yeah, and they're going to eventually. Yeah,
yeah. I think
we're going to see some faces.
I think she's going to.
They're probably all like raggedy,
very pale.
Yeah, very pale. Yeah.
Mando's got some facial hair, so how does he maintain that? I guess when you're alone, you can take your helmet off to bathe and things like that.
I think they got something in their helmet that
just lasers,
trims,
little lightsabers, laser in their sideburns off. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting the importance of Bo-Katan, which also we got that importance in Rebels too. She's always been and I assume in Clone Wars, she's always been a very important character.
She was huge in Clone Wars.
Yeah. So that's the end of that. Oh yeah, we have this one more sequence where Carson Teva is back at the very end. He finds a derelict ship out, and it's a Lambda class. It's like the Emperor's ship in Empire, or just regular Star Wars too. But he finds this ship, and it's been attacked. And it says it's like he calls it in, and they're like, well, it says it's classified. The ship is classified.
Yeah.
And he has them check the transponder. It's a prison ship. It was the ship that left with Moff Gideon. Right. So Gideon's ship was attacked. He sends a droid in, like a little probe, to go in and check things. Only people on the ship are the crew that are dead. And he scans it and finds a piece of Beskar lodged in the hull. So it seems like Mandalorians, got Moff Gideon out.
Yep.
Or they're being set up that way. We don't know.
Watch Rebels.
We saw theories.
Yeah.
We saw theories. I'm not going to mention theories on this. I'm going to leave those out.
If you watch Rebels, you kind of understand.
Yeah.
There's
six.
There's factions out there.
SECTS.
Yeah. Clearly, I mean, Bo-Katan faction was different from
Clan Kryze.
Yeah, they had different.
Children of the Watch, the Death Watch.
Yeah, there's a few different.
Clan Saxon.
Probably 6 or 7 different ones.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Most of them work together, but there were a few that didn't work with all the rest of Mandalore in the Republic.
But does the Republic know that? Are they going to go back and be like, you guys did this?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Teva's going to know he can't give this information up right. He's going to have to hide this information and go to it himself.
He called it in.
He called it in to his people, though.
Yeah.
It's only his people. It's only Delphi Squadron that knows this at this point. So, assumingly they might
ladies man don't
release that information off to somebody else as well. But I'd hope what we see is Teva going back to Mando and saying, hey, I found Moff Gideon's ship. He wasn't there, and there was Beskar lodged in it. What the hell, man?
Yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, the Mandalorians also hate Moff Gideon, so it could have been a revenge group of Mandalorians going after him too.
But they didn't.
Remains to be seen.
They didn't find his body. So.
No body.
Yeah.
No
so
body.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I hope happens with this going forward. I'm sure there's a lot.
We got 3 episodes left. Is it 8 episode season?
Yeah, it's normally 8.
Yeah, so we only got 3 episodes left at this point. So we got a lot to get to.
Yeah.
I assume we're probably gonna. I bet the last episode we're gonna end up with a bunch of Mandalorians together going to Mandalore, and that's gonna be the end.
It's gonna be a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
We're not gonna get all the answers.
And then they'll just cancel the show.
Yeah. Because people hate it right now.
People hate this show.
Yeah.
Except me.
It's amazing.
I love it.
Oh yeah, I love it too. I look forward to every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Sit down with my son.
I usually watch on Thursday morning.
Yeah. Sit down with my son, watch it. He loves it. So, and me and him watched Rebels when I think he was about 4 years old.
Yeah.
And we started watching Rebels, and he loved Rebels. So we go back and watch that every once in a while.
You should all watch Rebels.
Check out Rebels. There's heavy influence in this, of course. Filoni's involved, which it's
Filoni's baby.
Yeah, Rebels is Filoni's baby. There's more Rebels than there is Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So, but it all connects.
And we got Zeb. Zeb this episode.
Look great. I hope we get more.
I 100% think we're going to get Sabine Wren before this season is over.
Probably next episode.
I hope so.
So, because
they have a relationship.
Bo-Katan has to go.
Yeah, Bo has a relationship with Sabine Wren.
She's got to go find more Mandalorians that are on, and who best to suit that than Sabine. Or,
Absolutely.
unless she didn't make it out of Rebels. You have to go watch it. I don't know.
Watch Rebels.
So, I love how we got the ship at the end, though. Just destroyed, just floating in space.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, that was pretty cool.
Awesome little thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so that's it for The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5, The Pirate.
Yeah.
Very cool episode. Lots of action. Lots of good stuff. I mean, if you were complaining there wasn't enough action in this show, you got it this episode for sure. It was an action-packed episode.
Yep. Yeah, they started off, one episode, kind of slow action, action. Yeah. So we've gotten a lot here lately.
Yeah, they did.
So,
all right.
A lot of world building this episode, or this season.
Yeah.
Into other offshoots. So.
All right. So if you'd like to, you can follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/@basementmovieroom. Follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/basementmovieroom. You can also find us on Twitter @movie_basement, although I rarely post there, or at facebook.com/basementmovieroom, maybe. I can't remember the website, but you can find us there. Yeah. We post stuff there.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram. We're on
look us up. I mean,
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's a TikTok out there that I made for this, but I never post anything. So, yeah. So definitely follow us. Check us out, and we got a Patreon, but I haven't updated it forever. So if you want to give $1 there, you can.
Please.
Don't have to though.
Just give us $1.
It's not going to buy us much. But yeah, we're going to do some movie reviews tonight as well. So I'm going to take a break for a few minutes and make a phone call or two, and we shall return for some movie reviews, which we actually have to decide what we're going to review because we haven't decided. We got a bunch in the pipeline that we've watched and we haven't reviewed. So we'll see you next time with The Mandalorian. Helmet Required. That's the name of the Mandalorian podcast. Check it out on any of your favorite podcast apps. See ya.
Until next time. Boom. points, and we can just talk about the finer points.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get the Mando off there. All right, we are back, and we are here to do some movie reviews. We're going to hit a few movies, hopefully, if we have time. And, so we talked it over. We've watched a lot of movies. We've got about 7 or 8 movies we still need to review for you guys. But this one right here is a classic from 1990, right?
89, I think.
No,
it's 90. It was after Batman.
After Batman.
Yeah,
Batman
after
89,
Batman.
and this.
Yeah.
Which, that's going to come up a lot in this review. We're going to talk about it a lot. And this is the 1990 film, directed by Warren Beatty and starring Warren Beatty. Dick Tracy, based on the comic strip of the same name, of course. And, man, just opening thoughts on this one. This is style.
Childhood gold.
I love
this.
This is so much style.
Oh.
It's just, they said, let's take the comic strip and let's make it into a movie, and man, did they do it.
Yeah.
They took that comic strip and they did exactly what you saw in that comic strip into this movie. It's colorful. It looks like a comic strip half the time. The city is a matte painting for the most part of the movie.
It's Sin City before.
Yeah.
Sin City.
The feeling. And we talked about that. Like, why don't they put a black and white version of this?
They should come out with this black and white.
It would
just do the highlights like Sin City, or not even at all.
Yeah, it would. It would make so much sense to do this in black and white. But the color is kind of part of the charm of this movie too, though. So taking that out, maybe it's not.
Yeah, the bright, the reds, the greens,
the matte
the yellows, the matte paintings.
Yeah,
it's so much fun to watch.
I mean, you also, Batman 89 was very similar too. It had a lot of matte paintings and things like that, and like the color was much more muted in Batman 89.
Right.
But like these movies, it's very much living on Batman 89 in this movie. And
played off of it.
Including Danny Elfman's score. And we're going to talk a lot about that in this review, because I'll just run through kind of a plot description of the movie. We can talk about it after that. This isn't going to be a very long review. We don't want to spend a lot of time on it, because you know what? The best way to experience Dick Tracy is not to talk to us, or listen to us, that is. You can talk to us if you want to. We got chat going on in YouTube and Twitch right now. But living this movie is the way to go.
Yeah.
So Dick Tracy follows, of course, your titular character of Dick Tracy, played by Warren Beatty, who also directed the film. And he's, of course, wearing his famous yellow jacket and yellow fedora. And the movie opens up with Charlie Korsmo, his character, Kid. He kind of wanders into a warehouse where there's a number of these very stylized comic book looking gangsters playing poker.
Yep.
And so he's in there.
Including John C. Reilly.
Including a guy that looks like John C. Reilly for sure.
Yeah.
And
it looks like his character from, Sin City a little bit. Not really. Never mind. It just looks like John C. Reilly.
Well, later you get this guy that beats up on the kid that looks a lot like Marv from Mickey Rourke's character from Sin City. I mean, that guy very much looks like him.
Yeah.
But in this warehouse, and he's watching these guys play poker, and all of a sudden a car busts through the front of the warehouse and shoots all the guys, and it's Flat Top, one of Big Boy's guys, who's played by William Forsythe. Fantastic actor, William Forsythe. Just ultimate bad guy, in my opinion. He's played a couple good guys, I guess. But Forsythe is like... The guy just looks like an evil person.
Yeah, I mean, he's in my mind still today as Capone. You know, he played, in The Untouchables, he was Capone. He was great in that.
Well, no, Capone was De Niro in The Untouchables.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the TV show.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. In the new Untouchables TV show.
He was, watching that TV show.
Gotcha, the TV show.
He was great. I'm sorry, TV show, not movie.
I'm confused.
So, I think that came out after this.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was
that would have been like...
Early...
Probably like a year or two after
Yeah,
this.
okay. Early 90s, yeah.
It didn't do very much.
And, I love that show, and I was like, man, this guy's great as Capone.
Robert Stack was in the original Untouchables show back in the 60s. But, so, Kid witnesses this murder and runs away, and Dick Tracy ends up discovering him, and in the I guess he's still in the warehouse, ultimately. I think Dick Tracy gets him there, And you also meet, Dick Tracy's girlfriend, Tess Trueheart. What a comic book name that is. And she's played by a recognizable actress. I cannot remember her name right now.
Can we just talk about the cast?
Oh, the cast in this is
amazing.
Amazing. You got Warren Beatty, Al Pacino, William Forsythe, Madonna, Edo Ross plays Itchy. God, who else? Who am I missing? The guy who plays Bug Bailey's a recognizable actor. He's like the he's the guy from Tango and Cash that supplies them with their.
Sorry, I'm not good with names.
He's in Scrooged. he's a recognizable actor. I'm trying to think of the other people who are in this. There's so many people in this, just ridiculously number of people.
Forsythe, Madonna, Pacino.
Paul Sorvino. Yeah, Paul Sorvino plays the main mob boss that Big Boy takes out here in a second when we're watching it.
The guy from Back to the Future, the principal. He's
yeah, that's right. Mills Lane.
Yeah.
I call him
Mills Lane is in it. Yeah.
No, but no. Actually, Tracy finds Kid when he's running away from him on the street, and Tracy picks him up and takes him in and takes him and feeds him. And Kid's eating throughout this whole movie. It's such a funny part of the movie. Kid just eats so much because he's never really eat. But Tracy chases Kid down and ends up finding him in this little hovel where his caretaker is like beating up on him, and that's the guy that looks like Marv from SimCity. He's got that. And prosthetics. This movie latex budget must have been millions of dollars because there's so much prosthetics on all the gangsters.
And it looked great. I mean,
William Forsythe's got this flat top head, like triangle head.
So much fun. Yeah. Hoffman.
Oh yeah, Dustin Hoffman. That's right.
Hoffman's
he's in this as Mumbles. A small role, really, for Dustin Hoffman.
One of the better scenes in this movie. Oh my God. One of the most memorable.
Yeah, Hoffman's great in this. He's great in everything.
Yeah.
It's a small role for him, though, ultimately. So Dick Tracy's main thing to do is trying to take down Big Boy. And he discovers that Kid is a witness to this, and he needs Kid, basically, to help him in this. And he leaves Kid with Tess Trueheart and goes off to this warehouse where Kid had witnessed this murder ultimately. He doesn't know this at this point. He doesn't know Kid's seen all this. But the basic premise of the movie is Dick Tracy chasing after Big. It's the Untouchables. I mean, it's basically the uncorruptible detective going after the Al Capone character. Because Big Boy is the Al Capone character. So Tracy's investigating and trying to figure out, and he finds walnuts at the scene of this, like where they killed Paul Sorvino's character, the main mob boss, and that's Big Boy's trademark. He eats walnuts. Yeah. And there's a speech later in the movie where he's like, "Walnuts, great for you. Eat them all the time." And this is Pacino in his wildness, how Pacino gets,
He was a goofball in this one, and it was great. I loved it.
But Pacino essentially killed off. Chili. That's a weird thing. Like Dick Tracy's always eating chili, like from a can in his office. And I don't even know if we see him eat it. He's always stirring a can of chili. Yeah. It's very odd. But Dick Tracy brings in Flat Top and Itchy, played by Edo Ross, to say, hey, I know you did this, and you tell me who put you up to it. And Forsythe's just. He looks ridiculous in this. Flat Top looks ridiculous.
So good. I was talking about all the action figures.
Yeah, they had a lot of them.
They did pretty good on the marketing.
Seymour Cassell also.
Yeah, Cassell. Yeah. I mean, I had Dick Tracy. I think I had Big Boy.
I had Big Boy. I still have Big Boy. And there's Mumbles.
Oh, who else did I have? Pruneface.
Pruneface.
I had him. Yeah. I mean, the marketing, they were oversized characters. They were kind of like He-Man.
Yeah, they had that bulky look.
They really tried to market this movie. And, I don't remember anybody really liking it all that much back then.
I think it was well received, but
like none of the kids were playing with these toys.
No, they not popular.
Because we were young when this came out. I mean, 10 years old.
Madonna plays Breathless Mahoney. She's a singer at the bar that Paul Sorvino owned, but that's why Pacino took him out, is to take over his bar, basically his club. It's a gambling club. Gambling's against the law, though. and he's taking it over. And then we also get Mandy Patinkin as 88 Keys. He's the piano player in the bar. He plays a pretty significant role in this.
Yeah, so many smaller actors.
Yeah,
in this
just small
too.
roles in this, but yeah, the movie's basically about Dick Tracy trying to take down Big Boy and trying to figure out how to take him down. And Big Boy's kind of a step ahead of him for the most of the movie.
Oh yeah,
he can't really take him down, and it's just about him trying to. And he's kind of working. The problem with Tracy is he doesn't go for warrants. He does everything kind of like just spur of the moment, and that's caused problems in taking down Big Boy. You just can't take him down. And so on the scene pops up a character called the Blank. We get the interview scene with Mumbles here, which is hilarious. They got a bright light on
within
it.
the first 10 minutes of this movie. Oh, and Kathy Bates.
Oh, Kathy Bates in a very small role. I forgot about that one, yeah. Sorry, jumping all around.
Within the first 10 minutes, Dustin Hoffman's interrogation scene is probably one of the most memorable.
The water.
Yeah, in this movie. So
it comes back later.
You gotta check it out. Yeah,
it comes back later.
It does.
Yeah.
Don't want to give up too much.
Yeah,
I mean, it is 30 years old.
It is. It's 33 years old.
Yeah.
So Dick Tracy throughout the whole film is trying to take down Big Boy, and all of a sudden Tracy gets, and there's a lot that goes on, but I'm just going to hit the highlights, essentially.
Yeah.
But Tracy, they end up trying to buy off Tracy, and it doesn't work, and they end up through the Blank and Keys framing Dick Tracy for the murder of who do they frame him for the murder of? I can't remember exactly because it's been a couple weeks since we watched this movie.
Yeah, political figure.
They frame him for the murder of the DA. The DA, who is played by I can't remember. I haven't seen him on screen yet, otherwise I'd remember who he is. But the DA is played by a famous actor as well. But the DA's in with Big Boy and all that. So, but they frame Tracy for the murder of the DA. So Tracy's kind of on the run at that point, trying to clear his name and take down Big Boy at the same time. And it's just a good movie. It's a lot of fun. It's silly at times, but and then you got all the makeup and everything, all the ridiculous looking characters, including Dustin Hoffman here.
Yeah. I mean, you're engaged.
Yeah,
this whole movie.
Kid, of course, is helping with everything. Tracy keeps trying to keep him at home and give him off to like the orphanage and stuff like that. But the kid keeps avoiding the orphanage and following Tracy around, riding on the back of cars and things like that. And he keeps telling him not to do it, but he keeps doing it and ends up saving Tracy at one point where Tracy's tied to like a chair in a boiler room where they're going to blow it up because Tracy wouldn't take a bribe. But yeah, they frame Tracy, but it's not Big Boy that frames Tracy. It's the Blank that frames Tracy.
Right.
And Keys helps with that because Keys is being manipulated by the Blank. Mm-hmm. We're going to find out later that the Blank is a major character in this movie that we see, but we don't realize. The Blank doesn't have a face. It's like just skin only on the face. But Tracy throughout this movie he's not doing a very good job ultimately. No. There's that really stupid scene where they end up capturing Bug Bailey, they bug the club, and Tracy's just busting everything Big Boy's doing because they bug this club and they hear Big Boy talking about like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this, and Bug Bailey's like up in the attic above there listening, and he spills some water or coffee and it drips down, and Big Boy figures out there's a bug in his office, and he takes Bug Bailey and is going to put him in concrete like he did with Paul Sorvino at the first of the movie. And like they hear somebody come in and they think it's Tracy, and he leaves his coat and they shoot up his coat, and then they turn around, and for some reason, like Bug Bailey was under the concrete getting covered in concrete, Tracy decides to get in the concrete for this. He didn't have to do that. It was the goofiest thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't understand.
When we were watching, we were like, what was the point of that?
Why?
Yeah. And
why?
How did he get there?
Why is he doing that? It doesn't make any sense. But like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But in any case, the Blank.
That's about the only thing in this movie. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's more if we go back and watch. But like the one thing that we're like, what?
Yeah. It was like, why? Oh, this scene. This movie, I'm pretty sure, is rated PG-13, and Madonna is wearing a completely see-through dress.
Oh yeah.
You can see her tits completely.
Yeah. Now that's a
titty.
There it is.
That's a double titty. and it ain't hard to look at.
No.
But it's like, this is prime Madonna. 1990 Madonna, this is prime Madonna right there. So we do find out ultimately that Madonna is the blank. She's trying to take down, she's trying to take over the criminal enterprise, essentially, using Dick Tracy to take over their enterprise, even though she's in love with Dick Tracy.
She can't stand Big Boy.
Yeah, she can't stand him. She wants to take him down, and she's using Keys on top of that. I think she likes Keys. I mean, she's like, oh, he's the best piano player in town, you know, because Big Boy almost breaks his fingers at some point.
Yeah.
But Keys is kind of like her pawn. He uses him to help the framing of Tracy. But the weird thing is, she's in love with Tracy. There's even one scene where she kisses him. He doesn't really kiss back, and Tess discovers it, and it kind of breaks them up as well.
There's a little love triangle there.
A pretty poor job of doing the plot description on this. It's hard because this is kind of a complicated movie, honestly. There's a lot going on in this movie.
There is.
But
it kind of jumps around
quite
a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind
I think that's kind of, one of its flaws. But.
Yeah, it's certainly a flaw of it. But yeah, so Tracy, ultimately, they end up in a clock tower. They take down everybody. They have this big shootout. It's like reminiscent of, funny enough, Bonnie and Clyde on that big shootout, which is one of Warren Beatty's best movies. That's a great movie, him and Faye Dunaway. Mm-hmm. But they have this big shootout where they take out pretty much all of Big Boy's men. Big Boy escapes. They end up in a clock tower, which... of all places, a clock tower. I don't know.
But here we go with the Batman reference.
Oh yeah, you got the blank there. You got Dick Tracy there. You got Tess Trueheart, who's chained to one of the gears of the clock tower. And if Tracy doesn't save her in time, she's going to get crushed. And Big Boy, of course. And ultimately, that's where you discover Madonna's the blank. She gets shot by Big Boy, I believe, shoots her, and Tracy ultimately knocks. It's Star Wars. Knocks Big Boy over the edge.
Yep, exactly.
And he falls like the Emperor, who survived that, by the way. But
did he though?
That's the end. Tracy does ultimately take down Big Boy and his whole crew, but Breathless Mahoney does die because she's the blank. She ends up dying, and she's like, I was just doing this because I wanted to take it over, but I love you. Basically, is what she's saying. But Dick Tracy's only got eyes for
kind of a weak.
It's a weak ending, but the movie's so much fun, doesn't really matter at that point.
It's a comic strip brought to life. And it's so much fun. It's colorful.
It's so colorful.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really bored.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Throughout, I mean, it has some lulls like any movie, but it brings you right back in it.
Oh, Dick Van Dyke. That's right. Dick Van Dyke plays the DA.
The DA.
And Charles Durning plays the police chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles Durning. There's so much. It's like, I forgot Dick Van Dyke. How did I forget Dick Van Dyke?
All these actors just pop up in this movie.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Dick Van Dyke. Oh, Kathy Bates.
Yeah. You were like, is that Kathy Bates? I was like, no, it can't be. And I was like, it is Kathy Bates. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So the end of the movie, Dick Tracy has done what he's done, and him and Tess are going to, live a happy life together, supposedly. And then the kid gives himself a name, Dick Tracy Jr., so clearly they're going to adopt kid at that point. Played by Charlie Korsmo, who you'll recognize from Hook and Can't Hardly Wait. So yeah, that's the movie. That was a terrible plot description because this movie's hard to kind of describe.
Well, I mean, we jumped around kind of like the movie does.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah. And that's probably, like you said, one of its weaker points is it's not like...
Detective catch mobster.
Yeah.
Gets framed. Has a group behind him to get away.
Yeah.
Catches bad guy. All's happy.
Yeah, well, that was a funny scene that's on the screen right now where Flat Top and Itchy are right across the street from Dick Tracy. He just doesn't see him. Yeah. All he had to do is look across the street. He'd see him right there.
In a bright car.
Yeah, a bright red car. Everything's bright.
Yeah. Worst if you're trying to detect and be like in the shadows.
Yeah.
Worst suit to wear.
Yeah. No.
Bright yellow.
Yeah. Awful. Yeah.
Because there's a scene where he's trying to sneak in on somebody in the shadows, and he's wearing this. He's just wearing a bright yellow. Outfit. So, but oh my god, it's so much fun. I love this movie.
Yeah, let's talk about the design of this movie, which we kind of already have. The matte paintings, the costumes, everything like that. Just amazing.
Yeah, the matte paintings integrated with, everything else just looks so great. And they got to do this in black and white.
Yeah.
I would love to see this in black and white.
We're doing it. Black and white.
Yeah.
Copyright strike to the channel.
I mean, come on. Bring the Dick Tracy, who directed this?
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty. Yeah. Bring it back, man. Go black and white.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It would be pretty cool to see this in black and white. It's like Logan. We want to see it in black and white.
Yeah.
All right. So there's one more thing we have to discuss in this movie.
Also,
go ahead.
So you see a lot of the, you got the, I don't know what they call it, but you got like somebody in the foreground, and then you have guys walking in, like in Dick Tracy's office.
Yeah.
And he's like making the
chili
scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep comparing this to Sin City. It's like they took a lot of their keys from Dick Tracy, it feels like.
Yeah,
There's a lot of the same.
The comic book for Sin City is very similar to the movie.
It's very similar to this.
Well, they're both comic based, so it makes sense. It's like that
when did Sin City come out?
His 90s,
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's 90s.
Tracy
It's
came
Frank
back.
Miller. So.
Tracy came out in whatever.
1990, yeah.
Well, the comic
strips are like the 30s or 40s or something.
A while
like
back.
That. It's crazy.
But yeah, you get a lot. It's very, very much the same. The way it's shot.
Yeah. No, there has some definite similarities. Oh, April 1991 was the first issue of Sin City. Okay. So about a year after this movie came out.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
I think they took a lot of cues from Tracy.
You never know. They may have. Frank Miller as a genius, though.
Yeah.
That guy's great. So, the one thing we have to discuss is the music in this movie, because this is a Danny Elfman soundtrack.
Throughout, we were
could not stop, because this soundtrack and the Batman soundtrack is like somebody copied homework on this, because there are exact musical cues in this soundtrack, and this is probably where Danny Elfman gets the reputation that he only has one sound. Essentially, he can't do anything else, and he's proved it wrong. Of course, the guy's a very talented musician. So there are literally songs in this movie where they just added notes to the Batman soundtrack. It is almost identical to my ears.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
It's the same.
Line it up with
so
Batman
much the same.
89. It's close until the middle.
Yeah.
And then it evens back out, and then at the end it kind of separates. But
and I think that makes sense.
It's the same. It is the same sound overall.
I do think it makes sense, because honestly, when Tim Burton made Batman 89, the feel of Batman 89, like the time period he was kind of going for, it was supposed to be like current day or like 80s.
Yeah.
But it felt like 1940s.
Right.
In Batman 89. It very much felt like that. That soundtrack very much felt like that. So the soundtrack being very similar, if not almost the same, in this movie makes sense, because the feel of Batman 89 and this movie also feel very much alike. They have a very similar feel to them, and like costumes and things like that. Think of the costumes in Batman 89 of like the Joker's men, like the jackets and the hats and all that.
Mobster gear.
It's wild. They are very similar. Beatty had to have used that to an extent in this movie. I mean, he was using the comic strip, but Beatty definitely had that feeling. And you got to think that Beatty went to Danny Elfman. I assume he did. He chose the musician for this movie.
He's like, give me Batman 1990.
Yeah, just do that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's very similar themes. I mean, he's almost a vigilante in this movie to an extent as well. So, it's very similar themes.
Yeah,
so
he becomes it at the end.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
Definitely does. So, yeah. So, that's anything else to say about Dick Tracy before we move on?
Oh, my God. Just get some dick in your life.
Did you ever see that?
Dick Tracy.
Did you ever seen that comic strip, like back in the when Iron Man and Captain America came out originally? There was a saying like "solid dick" was like a thing that that somebody would say, like, you need to get like some perspective. And there's this thing like where Captain America's like, hey, oh, metalhead, I think you need a little solid dick in your life or something like that. It's great.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Get some solid Dick Tracy in your life.
Yeah, watch Dick
this
Tracy.
movie's 33 years old.
Watch Dick Tracy.
If you haven't seen it,
fun.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you've seen it, watch it again. It's so fun.
Let's
and
rate
when I brought it to our Friday night movie review, you were pretty happy about it.
Oh, I was glad to see it. I haven't seen it in years.
God! Yeah, I haven't seen it in years. I haven't seen it in years. I was a big fan of this as a kid. When it came out, it was like 10 years old. So
yeah, it's good stuff.
Had the action
Absolutely
figures,
fantastic.
the card. I had the card. They had cards out and all that. So
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
All right, so rating. What do you got?
Oh man. Whew. I love this, so I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Out of 10?
Out of 10. Are we going out of 5?
I'm out of 5.
We normally go out of 5. Yeah. Sorry.
So you're a 4.
I'm gonna go 4.
That's me as well. I'm a 4. This is a great movie. It's really fun. It has its problems. It's a little goofy. It's a little silly. It can get real silly, to be honest. But and it has some pacing problems overall. It's not the best paced movie.
Yeah.
Some of the cuts are like, why are we cutting away from some of this? But it's fine.
The makeup, the guy,
James Caan.
Caan is in this.
James Caan.
James Caan.
Not for long. Very small role for James Caan.
Just throughout this movie, just throwing in these big time actors in small roles throughout.
Yeah, it's
Love
crazy.
It. Yeah.
All right, so that is Dick Tracy. We're going to move on to our next movie review here shortly. But if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. You can find us at Basement Movie Room youtube.com/@basementmovieroom, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Basement Movie Room. So check us out. Follow us if you want to get these reviews about once a week. Sometimes we skip a week. It depends. We're busy people. So, all right.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Get some dick in your life.
That's right. That's definitely going in.
We're probably going to get...
All right. Take a quick break.
fire.
Oh, I didn't hit record yet. What are you doing?
Oh.
You need a refill over there?
Yeah, I do. Alright. You do too, boy.
Yeah, he's going to refill it.
Just gotta drive to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be okay by then.
Oh. Almost. Not quite. Darn it. Oh. There you go. That's the spirits. Make sure you wash that shit out.
Oh, that was more than I thought it was. Yeah, it's empty. I did that on stream. There I am doing it right there.
That's fire.
Welcome to the growler drinking stream.
Yeah, we should review growlers.
We're gonna review growlers next time. All right.
Oh, it's on fire.
There's your music for the day. You're welcome.
Strong desire.
You're welcome. The voice of an angel.
Yeah. All right. Let's get on this review.
All right, we're back with another movie review. This is Reign of Fire, the 2002 film, starring Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey, Jerry Butler himself, before he was really that big of an actor, to be honest.
I think you can still put this in the Jerry category,
We're
though.
going to put this in the Jerry category.
Yeah.
It's for sure. He's a main character in this.
Yeah.
So, first thoughts on Reign of Fire.
This is a movie I love to put on in the background when I'm cleaning. Because it's enjoyable.
It is.
You know, good sound, good score, great actors. You know, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Storyline is okay.
Oh, it's completely ridiculous. Yeah. It's a completely ridiculous movie. It's not a
fun.
great movie by any means, but it is a lot of fun to watch. It has its problems. It's not like the best movie you're ever going to see. It's not even the best action movie you're ever going to see.
No.
But it is a lot of fun to kind of see some early performances. Christian Bale, not really that early performance. No. He was in Empire of the Sun that Spielberg directed, obviously.
We should go back and watch that.
Yeah, he's a kid.
I love that movie.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, but basically this movie is about dragons taking over the earth.
Yeah.
So Christian Bale, as a kid, his kid self, visits his mom in a construction site that's underground. They're building, I don't know, the London Underground or something. I don't know.
Some kind of tunnel.
Yeah, some kind of tunnel.
Yeah.
And he goes
Probably
down the tunnel.
System or something.
Goes down the tunnel to visit his mom, and he accidentally, like this guy that works for the construction guys, gets him to climb through this little hole to check out what's in this little void that they've discovered. And he goes in there, and something drips in his eyes. He almost gets blinded, and he discovers a dragon, which breaks out and ends up killing his mom, killing pretty much everybody, and that's the start of the dragon invasion of the world, essentially. The dragons start multiplying, they take over the earth, and now there's just very few humans left. It's kind of almost like the zombie movie, sort of, kind of like groups of humans kind of cordoned off to their own little area at that point. So the next scene we get to is Christian Bale and his group. They're stationed in a castle in, I don't know, England, Scotland, something like that.
In the countryside.
Yeah. And they're making it by growing their own crops and things like that. And they have kind of a splinter group that's wanting to go out because they're starving. They're running out of food, essentially.
Yeah.
That's wanting to go out and do the harvest. And they have to stop them because if they do the harvest too early, the seeds won't germinate in the fruit and they won't be able to replant. So, good reasons, but also these people are starving. And it's a rough life these people are living. You have to worry about the dragons coming. They have all this set up to, deal with dragons if they come, like water. They're making sure there's plenty of water that can run through the castle to keep burning everybody up. So,
which, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, there's a lot of things in the movie that, how are they getting all this water supply?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not a lot that they really try to dive
We do not see a river or anything near this place.
Yeah, so
not at all.
Nothing's really explained.
Assumingly, there has to be some kind of water source around, but we're not going for scientific fact in this movie. We're dealing with dragons here.
You got an action movie with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey. Who's not going to watch this and enjoy it?
Oh, Matthew McConaughey's insane.
And they're both in prime shape.
Oh man, McConaughey is like just beefy.
Yeah.
And so is Bale. Bale's a big dude in this movie.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Gerard Butler's the smallest dude in this movie. Yeah, he's not got his muscled up thing for 300 yet.
Yeah, no, this is around.
300 was at 2006?
So was this after Timeline? Sorry.
I don't know if it's after Timeline or not. I don't know.
Did we get the zipper noise?
Yeah, we probably did.
Sorry.
I think we've decided Timeline was 2004.
Okay.
So Timeline was after this, I think.
Okay.
So.
Because he got a little more beefed up in Timeline. So yeah, he was kind of a skinny little lad.
Yeah, he was a little guy in this ultimately. But it's Jerry Butler, man.
Yeah.
Gotta respect the Butler.
Yeah.
We got 3 people watching on YouTube. Welcome to the stream. Mm-hmm. Feel free to comment, say hello.
Enjoy comments.
So what we're looking at,
good or bad,
here is they're kind of fighting amongst themselves, trying to keep these guys from going out to the crops. They stop them, but then that night, these guys decide to go out early in the morning to go get the crops to feed their families because their families are starving, essentially. You understand that. You see what's going on there, and that it's hard. It's hard to see your kids hungry. I wouldn't want to see my kids hungry. It's very hard. So these guys go out in the field, about a group of like 6 or 8 of them go out in the fields and begin pulling all the fields out, and here comes a small dragon. The dragon wreaks havoc on the crops, kills some of the crew, and Christian Bale and Jerry Butler come out there with their crew and these vehicles, these military type vehicles that have these water sprayers on them.
Yeah.
And they're wearing like heat suits, like the silver suits that people would go up to volcanoes in to harvest magma and stuff like that out of volcanoes. Magma. So they save some of the crew and take them back and manage to get away, and the dragon burns all the crops. So they have no food at this point. They're not going to have any food, and they're in trouble, essentially. They don't know how they're going to make it. Essentially, they're going to have to do something. So, after this, they're in their castle trying to figure this out. And we have Alexander Siddig as well as like their radio operator. Yeah. You might recognize him from... he was in Game of Thrones as the head of Dorne, Kingdom of Heaven, Star Trek.
Yeah, Star
Trek.
You're
welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Mike.
Yeah.
I mentioned Star Trek on one of our reviews, and I can't stand Star Trek. So
please watch us.
Good for me.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Star Trek. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So
not going there.
So
yet,
all of a sudden, there shows up a caravan of military vehicles and a tank coming up to the gates of their castle that they're living in. So, the funny comment, they go out to this top of the castle and they're pointing guns down at them, and here comes Matthew McConaughey, bald, bearded, muscular, no sleeves on his jacket, just looking like an American badass.
Got a cigar in his mouth the whole time.
It's chewing.
Yeah. Duke Nukem, but bald.
Yeah, chewing on the cigar, and Jerry Butler's like, "It's worse. It's Americans."
It's Americans, yeah.
That's great. Great line. So Christian Bale goes out to talk to him, and Christian Bale's trying to be a badass here. He doesn't really like McConaughey's not scared of him at all. He's just not at all. And McConaughey's like, "We can do this the easy way or the really easy way." So they let him in, and Christian Bale lets him in because they're dragon hunters. Essentially, is what they tell him, and he doesn't really believe him. But he lets them in because maybe they can help. Maybe they can help.
Okay, great. You got a tank.
And
what else?
McConaughey's name is Van Zant.
Yeah.
That's his name. So they let him in,
Rest in
and
peace,
we
Ronnie.
meet, yeah, Ronnie Van Zant. That's right. So we meet the kind of crew. There's the female co-leader. I can't remember her name, actress name, but she's a recognizable actress. And then on the helicopter crew, calling back to a review that we did recently for Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes.
There is a black character who is the on your feet.
Yeah.
On
You had to
your
pause. You
I
had
had
to
to
pause.
think about that because you ruined that for me.
Yep. On your meat.
On your feet, maggot.
Yep. Do
So
the rest.
So he's one of the helicopter crew, and we're getting a Renfield trailer in the video here, which I do not know about that movie so far. I'm not sure, completely unsure on this one.
We're gonna end up watching it.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it because it's
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage. But the helicopter crew is like the skydivers. They bait the dragons and things like that. So they're like, their average life is 13 seconds after jumping out of a helicopter, which seems unlikely because how long have these guys been around?
I mean, they couldn't figure out a better strategy.
Yeah, there had to be
And
something better.
how many more guys did they have?
Yeah, yeah, but
And how did they drive those tanks over the water?
well, they had a plane. That's a big thing. Like Christian Bale's like, there hasn't been a plane in the sky in 20 years, But they said they found an old C-130 military
and that's when they
chopper
flew
and managed to fly to England because
We own the skies now.
Ultimately, what they think is that all dragons are females, except for one dragon, the main dragon that came out of the hole that Christian Bale was part of, which he never really tells anybody that till the end of the movie when he tells them he's been there before.
Yeah, so that whole opening scene was kind of trash, except for the dragon emerging.
Yeah, you get that, and the CG pretty good.
Oh,
The CG is impressive for
Very.
2002.
it still looks really good.
They use a lot of fog and smoke to cover it up. And this takes place in 2020. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's 2020 when this takes place.
Well, I mean, this is kind of
Yeah.
it's a kind of true. Got the COVID,
Dragons,
got that COVID
pandemic,
dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ultimately, a dragon does come after the castle, and Van Zant and his crew are able to take the dragon down. So we kind of buy in at that point, and Christian Bale is still doubting of them, but they want to take down the big boy, the big dragon. And so they say they're going to go to London or Manchester or something, wherever this dragon is. And Christian Bale's like, it's a death sentence if you go there. You're not going to make it. But Van Zant doesn't listen, and he takes his whole crew in tanks to go to London to try to take this dragon down. They end up at an impasse, and the big boy dragon comes out and just takes out the whole crew, except Van Zant. He survives somehow. Everybody else is dead.
Because he's a great jumper off of tanks.
He jumps.
He jumps off of tanks so
Yeah.
much in this
He
movie.
does.
He does a nice little tuck every time. I mean, the guy's an athlete in this movie. Gets
He
under the
is.
tank and survives. He's the only
athlete of the
one.
movie.
Yeah.
So he survives. They rescue him, take him back, and they have to they decide. Christian Bale decides he's going to help them. They're going to formulate a plan to take out the big dragon. So there's a lot more that goes on. I'm sure this thing skip over. It doesn't really freaking matter.
Can we just go back a little bit to the Amazing Theater show?
Oh yeah, they reenact Star Wars.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, they reenact Star Wars.
The
It's
Empire
awesome.
Strikes Back. They reenact Star Wars for these little kids, and in the castle that Christian Bale's trying to.
May I say,
he's the leader of.
it is not a perfect reenactment. It was pretty poor writing on.
Yeah, I mean,
It's funny.
yeah,
And then he says he wrote it. Christian Bale says he wrote it. It's his story.
yeah.
Oh, we also get a dragon does come attack the castle at some point, and Jerry Butler dies.
Yeah.
How dare they? How dare they kill off G. Butler?
Yeah.
But he dies. So Christian Bale ultimately decides, the dragons are just going to keep coming. We're going to go to London. So the Van Zant, the female character, and Christian Bale band together. It's only three of them. I don't know why only three of them go. I guess nobody else was willing to go. Go to London via boat, and they I guess they go through the River Thames, I assume. And they get to the area of London where all the dragons are. There's hundreds of dragons. It's like no dragon saw them?
Yeah.
Okay. and the big boy dragon comes out. All the other dragons disperse, which is convenient.
That dragon's got to be exhausted.
Yeah.
After all
there's a lot.
Females
There's a lot of eggs, man.
How is he able to move?
Yeah, he's doing.
Just saying.
He is doing work. Yeah. So here's the Star Wars scene right there.
We did get another Game of Thrones alum in this movie too. Little Joffrey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Joffrey.
Yeah. So
the kid who played Joffrey, he's in there. He's also in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
A few years later. So, yeah. So they go into London. They find where the dragon is, and they go to take it out. They have these explosive arrows that, if they can get one down his gullet, that'll take him out. Van Zant makes the most badass move in the history of moves to die, essentially. But there's online analysis of the jump he does. He climbs this tower and runs with his pickaxe. He's got this pickaxe that he has as a weapon to try to take out the dragon, and he jumps 40 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, the longest long jump in the history of man, 40 feet straight out, and just gets eaten by the dragon.
Yeah.
But
he's like, yeah, come on.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's an awesome scene, but it's ridiculous. So
the axe that he had, though, that was a great weapon.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. That pickaxe, it's beautiful.
I love movie weapons.
Yeah, they're great.
Just make whatever you want.
You need one of those hanging right here on this wall.
It's a little vacant over there.
Yeah, it's very empty. You need something there. Yeah. So Christian Bale ultimately, and the woman character, I feel bad because I feel like I'm being sexist or something by not remembering the woman character's name, but I just can't. Him and her kind of distract the dragon. He ultimately gets the arrow and his crossbow and fires one straight down its gullet, kills the dragon. So the dragon's dead. They've won, but not really, because there's like 100 female dragons still. Are they just gonna like they're not done? It's like, I guess all those are gonna die over time. But how long do dragons live? Do we know? Because I figure like 100 years. So
at least.
Alex Jensen, played by Isabel Scorupco.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much in this movie that is just like, they kind of just went away from any kind of logic.
Don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. Yeah.
No logic. Hey, our heroes won the day.
Yeah.
So it's
human
race survives.
Yeah. But yeah, so they win. They've won the day, but it's not going to go well for them from there. It's not. There's no reason they're going to survive from here on out. But that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's enjoyable.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable movie. It's a fun movie. It's not good. There's Terrence Maynard. On your feet.
On your feet.
Oh, Alice Krieg. Yeah, she's a recognizable actress too. Alice Krieg. Yeah. That's his mom. She plays his mom.
Yeah.
So yeah. So this is a fun movie. It's nothing special, honestly. It's got great effects. The music is pretty standard stuff for kind of an action film.
Yeah. Nothing makes sense. With the logic of the world. The logic of the world just doesn't make sense at all.
No.
So, they say, suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
This is a movie
a lot of suspension.
Yeah, suspend your disbelief.
Yeah, a lot of suspension.
And just enjoy it for what it is.
To be honest, though, when this movie is coming out, there was no movie I was more hyped for than this movie. When these trailers came out,
I wanted to see it.
We saw it in the theater. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This was, and I was a little disappointed. Honestly, when I saw it in the theater, it was not as good as I'd hoped it'd be, but it's still entertaining.
I liked it.
I liked it. Yeah. I just thought it was going to be better.
Yeah. I did enjoy the CGI. They did a really, really good job.
It's amazing. It's really good. I mean, like Game of Thrones in this.
Yeah, we even brought that up while watching it. It was like, dude,
those dragons are extremely similar.
These dragons are the models for these dragons. I'm sure were tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
And thrown into Game of Thrones.
It's very similar. It is amazingly similar.
So,
but yeah. So,
what kind of dragons were in these versus Game of Thrones? You brought that up.
Yeah.
Please comment. This is where we need comments.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah,
Nobody?
Yeah. All right. So we are going to call it a night at that one because I'm running out of time. So you got a couple reviews in tonight. Watch our Mandalorian reviews as well. You're pointing at my face being goofy? Thanks for watching Basement Movie Room. You can find us at youtube.com/@Basement Movie Room, twitch.tv/Basement Movie Room, facebook.com/Basement Movie Room. Email us at basementmovieroom@gmail.com. That's podcast with an S. And a lot of other places. Definitely follow us on the podcast apps of your favorite. And we will see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hearts on fire.